I got a guy behind me ready to block. He just has to parry the ball away or not prevent it from going in.
I think it's probably analytics. Should we call it that? Analytics, where they've discovered that if we're not covering our zones with 8 people, only 6, we're giving up goals on whatever percent. But you're right. But what about all these goals that are going in when those guys aren't there?
When you don't have somebody, and conversely on the offensive side, how many times do you see a ball race by the far post and no one is there? Mm-hmm. And that used to drive me up a wall when I coached, is just, you literally just be able to tap it in.
Yeah.
You don't need a big foot, and they don't do that anymore either. I don't know. Things have changed a little bit.
Let me tell you guys something I've observed, and I observe this a lot with this podcast. I look over at our engineer, Dale, and I see at certain points where it looks like he's so bored he wants to kill himself. And usually that's when you guys are talking soccer strategy. So I'm going to move on to something that he'll appreciate. This is a story out of India, one of your favorite countries, Dale. And it has me wondering just how many statues of Cristiano Ronaldo there are in the world. It seems to me that this guy's, for a living person who's still playing soccer, this is a lot of statues. And every time they put one up, it creates a controversy. And I had never known about this, so I'm thrilled about this one. This is, he's Portuguese.
Yep.
He's Portuguese, and for years, Goa, G-O-A, in India, was ruled by under Portuguese colonial rule for 450 years up until 1961. So they built a statue, and it was and here's the quote from a government official: "For the love of football and at the request of our youth, we put up Cristiano Ronaldo's statue in the park to inspire our youngsters to take football to greater heights. It was an honor to inaugurate the beautification of open space, landscaping, garden with foundation and walkway." And you're not going to believe it, guys, but it was criticized. And you won't believe where the criticism came from, but it was social media.
No way.
Shocking. But they basically are accusing the government of being insensitive by putting up a statue of a Portuguese person, because to many people, it will make them think of the colonial Portuguese rule for all those years. CNN.com story quotes one critic as saying, "Erecting a statue of a Portuguese hero is a bit insensitive." Clearly, this guy is not an American, because this is the criticism.
Your homework is I want you to get that guy to come on the show.
The Indian guy or Ronaldo?
The leader there, the government official.
All right.
Just send him an email.
Michael
Ask
Lobo?
him to come on Soccerheads New England. Whatever his name is.
All right.
We had the same issue with the statue of you and Beverly, right?
Yeah. I was going to say, I think we have the same chance of getting this guy from India
You never know.
to come onto the show as we do of getting Jim to show up.
So first of all, my question is, why are all these statues horrible depictions of, what I would say is a handsome guy?
This is the other reason. This is what I'm going to get to. This is the first one that didn't go after him for the looks of the statue.
I'm going after the looks of the statue.
I know.
He looks like a beer league player. He's got a paunch. He's got fat legs. His legs are rubbing together. Ronaldo's legs not rubbing together.
But he's not getting criticism for the statue being ugly.
He should be.
Okay, that's a different
I think it's going to inspire kids to drink, not play soccer.
But also talk about a harmless sport. The antithesis of anybody looking at a statue of a soccer player about taking over an occupation. It doesn't make sense. It sounds like somebody just needed something to complain about.
Well, yeah. And the other criticism was, why didn't they put up an Indian soccer star instead? Maybe that's valid, but I do wonder if it's kind of a tempest in a teapot. But Paul's got a good point. In other places, I'm just going to go through them, the ones that I found. I'm told there was an ice sculpture statue somewhere, but I couldn't confirm that. But also the Cristiano Ronaldo International Airport. He's got his own airport named after him. Living guy, still playing. They unveiled a bust in his honor in 2017, and tweets compared him. They basically said he looked like other players on other teams, but they said he didn't look like.
He looked ugly. He really looked ugly.
Okay. And then he also been immortalized with a 10-foot bronze statue outside a museum dedicated to him. So he's got an airport and a museum.
Someone actually, protest, someone actually took a dump on him in the the India one, and it made him look better. Okay, that's how bad looking this thing is. But I want to type in my trip to Goa.
I got one more. I've got one more statue, and I did find out where the ice sculpture was. It was in Moscow in the 2018 World Cup. But then there's another one at the Santiago Bernabeu Stadium in Madrid, Spain. So basically, this guy has got 5. Well, not counting the ice statues.
Wait a minute, but the ice one was the only one, or other players had theirs too? Don't tell me they only did one of Ronaldo.
I don't know. All it says is ahead of the
weird.
2018 World Cup in Russia, he was honored by an ice sculpture in Moscow. So he's got 4 statues and one melted. But the criticism is, I guess there's one of them that they said looks like him, and the others are all, they don't look like him, and you're saying they're ugly?
Yeah, definitely. And I'm telling you, the guy's handsome, he's really in good shape, and he's a good-looking guy, and these things make him look terrible. But so one of the things about this podcast is we take this seriously, and we do our homework.
Yeah.
So I dug into some of the articles, because they're all written by liberal media, and they write it one way, and they make it sound like everyone's against it.
Yep.
So I got on a plane, and I flew to Goa.
Okay.
And I interviewed these people.
You flew to where?
To Goa.
you went to Goa?
Yeah. Connecting flight in
Goa
Istanbul.
is really goal without the L, Dave.
Right, or Go.
Is that true?
So let me tell you what people said.
So people said to you, so your wife looked at you that morning and said, "Where are you going?" And you
Goa.
said, "I'm going to Goa."
Yeah, going to Goa.
And then you went to Goa.
So what the people said, and you don't find this in any of the articles, because they all want to write it like they plopped this statue down as if someone threw a statue of Wayne Rooney in Boston, didn't explain it. And you'd be like, why is that there, the English player?
Yeah.
The people there root for Portugal. That's their team. Okay?
Okay. Because
They don't mention that in the articles.
Because of the history.
I don't know why, but that is the team they root for, that whole town where that statue is. They root for that team, and they all have last names that are Portuguese. Not Indian names, Portuguese names.
So what you're saying,
So it made sense to put it there.
but what you're saying is that the people who criticize the government for being insensitive are being insensitive to the people who live in Goa.
I think they are. I do.
All right?
And the other thing is, in India, cricket is the big sport.
Yes, national sport.
But in Goa, they don't care about cricket. Soccer is it's their neighborhood. It's everything to them.
Yeah.
So they're watching Ronaldo on the TV, rooting for him, and they want to put up a statue. No offense, but the Indian players they mentioned, I know you've never heard of them.
No,
you don't,
never heard of
I
them.
said them to you, you wouldn't know them. I don't know them. So what are you going to put a statue of a guy no one knows? That's not going to inspire anybody. So they went with Ronaldo.
All right, let's talk about the bigger issue here.
There's a bigger issue?
There is a bigger issue.
Should I fly back?
Maybe.
I miss
I think you're going to have to do some globetrotting for this. Why does this guy get so many statues?
Spencer's going to have to kick in some more money for the next trip.
Did Rick Spencer pay for your trip?
No.
That's why he's a good financial advisor. He advised you to take the
He
trip.
doesn't deal with stupid money.
I think I've hit on why.
He doesn't deal with Paul.
I think I've hit on why there's so many statues. He's a handsome guy. Like Messi is arguably better. I think he's better, but he's short of stature and not as handsome. So they put up the.
I think another
the
analogy
idol.
is if you go to Fall River, primarily Portuguese, and you put a statue of a Portuguese soccer player there, and you have the people from Cape Cod complaining that there's a Portuguese statue in Fall River and it offends us on Cape Cod, so it has to be removed. That's exactly what we're talking about here.
That does sound like what you're talking about.
If they do
Luckily
remove
for
it-
us, Paul got on the plane.
If they do remove it, Dave, and you email this guy, ask him to send it to us for the
statue.
podcast. We'll put him right next to the Christmas tree over here.
Okay.
Can we do that?
Yeah.
All right.
So, we're going to something else. Are we still talking about soccer?
No.
Here's our final topic for today. Lorenzo Insigne.
You can stick with Lorenzo if you want.
Okay,
That's
why
why I
did you
gave
say
you
that?
both his first and last name.
Well, I said his first and last name because you
Make it
gave me his
easier.
first name. All right. Goa. I did so well on Goa. Anyway, Lorenzo Insigne, close to signing for a record deal with Toronto and the MLS. Big star. What's interesting about this guy is that he's 30 years old. So he's not the old final lap, back 18, typical MLS signing. What do you think? Is it a sign that the MLS is now going to compete for better players. If you're a better player, why do you come to the MLS if the better soccer is played in Europe?
True. I mean, I think the oldest one was Latan, who was about 35 or 36 and didn't look great in his last year with Man U.
Okay.
But if they keep getting younger, I think that's a good sign. If you can get a 30-year-old who's still captain of his team and obviously in his prime, that's good.
It's a great sign if that's all true. I mean, Beckham, I thought Beckham, when I saw him, was good and he was an unusual athlete. I wondered if he had been better for other teams.
Yeah, he was. But he was good for the Galaxy.
He had a can. By the way, speaking of Ronaldo, Beckham was a good-looking guy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You want to get a statue of him?
Oh, you got one?
We could order one. I mean,
Yes.
we got money now.
for the dashboard of your car.
Here's my point. Are they like movie stars? Is being a great player and being a handsome guy, does that matter in that sport?
You look to me because I'm better looking than Jim? Is that what you're looking at me for?
No, because you noticed who's good looking, who's not good looking.
Well, this
Jim
signing,
would think it would make him homophobic, so he would get all concerned about it. Go, I don't know what he looks like. I don't know.
Well, this signing has...
All I know is they have great legs.
All right.
The signing has to do with DPs, okay?
DPs.
Which doesn't mean double penetration.
I was just going to say, sounds like Dave's Saturday night.
Although Insigne will provide penetration
Okay.
on the field.
Yes.
But so each team has, the most you can have is 3 DPs, okay, in the MLS. You're not allowed to have...
DPs are what? Designated players?
Yes.
Yeah.
So when I first heard they were going to bring this guy in, they already have this guy named Pozuelo who plays the same position. And usually you spread your DPs out. So the Revs have Buxer and Bo up top, and then they have Carlos Heel behind them. LAFC only has 2 DPs, but they each play opposite wings. So I said, why are you bringing in a guy you already have at that position? Which seemed a little odd to me.
Okay.
But then my son, who's smarter than me,
Yep.
pointed out
That's quite an accomplishment.
all these leagues, just like basketball, they copy the winner. So who won the title? NYC.
Yeah.
What do they have? Tiny Maxi Morales, who's 5'4", probably the shortest guy in league history. And then remember the blonde guy that was driving us nuts that game, Rodriguez?
Yep.
So they won with 2 quick midfielders. So I think Toronto's saying, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to load up in the midfield with quick players and try to do what NYC did. Patch them up with a good striker. And they're trying to sell this striker now so they can get someone else. And I think it's a good move.
And here's another move.
Okay.
Men's
Number
national
2.
team.
Yep.
Men's national team. Dallas Football Club. Their top player
Yep.
just signed a $20 million contract with your favorite league in Germany. That's
Germany?
Germany.
The Goa League?
That's right. I was full
German?
of Germanaries last week. In Germany. What's the league that you love? You love pronouncing the name.
Starts
in
with a
Germany.
B.
Starts with a B.
I'm not going to let you do.
Bund.
No, listen. If it's not CONCACAF, I'm not going to talk about
The
it.
Bundesliga League.
The what league?
Bundesliga.
Yeah.
The way you pronounce it.
All I remember is Goldschlager.
Anyway, $20 million. Homegrown United States soccer player. They just signed him in the top league in Germany. So he's leaving MLS. He's still going to be on the men's national team, I would imagine.
Oh, yeah.
And then he's going to go play, and he is thrilled. Young, one of the top American soccer players.
How many players leave the MLS to go to the European leagues?
That's a fantastic question.
Well, if you've read the latest article of the rumored transfers,
Oh, I wish I had.
there's about 15 or 20.
Yeah.
2 of them are on our team.
All right. Oh, is that where they went? They went to European leagues?
No, they're rumored.
Oh,
They're getting offers.
Rumored. Okay.
But the Revs evidently are holding out, like saying, if you want Turner, you got to pay us this much. No one wants to pay that. So in other words, they don't want to let him go.
Yeah.
And then Buxer is, because he had such a good year, people are looking at him, like Tottenham is thinking of maybe making a run at him. So.
And you know what happens there, though, Dave? You start to get people who followed these guys in this country start to watch UEFA, CONCACAF, all your favorite leagues.
Not
because they know a player that they watched
Conca-
here in the United States
it's
is
CONCACAF.
playing there. It's great for soccer. I don't think it hurts us at all.
Oh,
in
no.
the
And
country.
it helps your brand because the announcer says this guy played for the Revs last year.
Exactly.
That's
Not nothing. That's big.
here's the point. No, it just adds to the confusion.
Well, all sports are
that is
confusing.
professional soccer. Well, rooting for the
What it
laundry.
shows you,
Yeah.
Dave, is it confirms to you that it is a world sport to watch, not just